So there's a few main things that I feel like were a big part of my transition, going from a business that was doing 30 something deals a year into the business that I have now. We did 77 deals last year, but the big part of that, one of those properties was 100 units. It was a big shift in my business going from gold to platinum. So I just wanted to kind of highlight some of those things. I thought, what tangible things allowed me to scale like that? I'm remembering back to my first fuel event, and I got to the end of the second day, and my buddy Justice, he didn't come to this one, but he was like, man, what's your number one takeaway that you're gonna go implement in your business? And I thought about it, I thought all these good nuggets I had taken away, and I literally got sad. I went, oh, I can't implement anything. The person I had running my company at the time couldn't even handle their basic duties and responsibilities. So how are they gonna, take on this new stuff? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, wow, I guess that's what I need to solve. Happened to run into a guy named Rick Del Giorno. He absolutely changed my life. And so really the first transition of being able to grow my company a ton came from what he helped me with. And what he helped me with was understanding that my standards were not crazy. I know a lot of us, we drive so hard to achieve the things that we've achieved. And then when we start to bring people into our business, we question, am I asking too much of them? We want to make excuses for people because we think, well, no one's going to do it like I can do it. No one's going to put in the effort that I put in. It's upholding your standards. So I went from questioning, are my standards too high? Is this reasonable? To I just have this undeniable confidence that what I'm asking my team to do is right. It's not too far and it's not too low. It's right. My standards, I have strong confidence in them. And if you can get to that place, that's a great place to start building on, because you're going to have to quickly pass off those standards to someone else and say, now you have to champion these standards and you have to run the team when you're ready to hire an integrator, COO type of person. So the next thing from there, I've got the standards. Now, I always had this next one, but it's what I see a lot of people are lacking, that if you could get these in place, it will help you scale a lot more quickly, and that's obviously systems and processes. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, when I get to a certain size, then I'll have time to put some systems in place. I'm just gonna go grind, I'm just gonna go do it, gonna go get the results, because we all know how to just get results. One thing I'm not world class at is marketing. And when I was building my business, people were like, man, where are you getting all these deals from? And I was thinking back, like, that deal came from so-and-so. It was like a rare happenstance thing. That was a one-off. And I didn't really have a system for it. It was just referrals. And funny enough, that's been one thing that has kind of scaled in my business. I'm getting tons of referral deals still. But growing through my business, that is one thing I came in with, was systems and processes in place, not winging it. And I always felt like, man, I should be getting way better results. People in this group are doing 10 deals a month consistently forever, and they come to me for my systems. Like, how screwed up is that? And I want their business, and they're just disorganized and flying off the cuff, but getting deals. But I think to sustainably be able to scale, you've got to have the systems and processes in place. It's like a minimum bar for scaling a company. You have those systems, and then you uphold your standards to the team. So if you want to continue to scale, keep growing, actually enjoy your business, getting those systems in place is huge. And it doesn't get easier as you grow. You have less time to do it as you grow. So get that started as soon as you possibly can. My next key thing, and this is one of the, I guess, secret sauces that I have in my business, is that onboarding takes 0 time. So we onboard a new employee, that takes 0 of my time. They get fully trained, fully integrated into the business. It takes no extra time. When I think about hiring, and when you ask people, what truly makes you not hire somebody? Like, why do you really not want to hire for this? As long as you have enough revenue to support them, right? You have enough revenue and you want to grow the company, those are givens. If you ask yourself, why am I really not thrilled about hiring? It's because when you hire, it takes double your time. Because now not only do you have to keep doing the job to make sure it gets done, but you're having to train a brand new person on it. And you're having to bring them up from square one and build them all the way up. And so when we think of hiring someone, we're thinking, oh, now it's gonna be another 3 months of grind, and there's a 50-50 shot they'll stay with me and work out, and there's a 50-50 shot they won't. And if they don't work out, and I'm gonna have to bring someone else on. And if a few people don't work out, that's a year. A year's worth of time has just passed. And I have no one that has any skills that have been transferred to them, and it's just been extra wasted time. So if you really think about it, that's something that I've identified as one of the main reasons people don't like hiring. It's a huge time investment. But what if, when you thought about hiring, you thought, oh, I find myself doing this role, whatever it is, quite a bit. I find myself spending 3-4 hours a day on it. And when you think about hiring, you think about, oh, I'm gonna spend, instead of 3 to 4 hours a day, I'm spending 0. And with me, whenever we make a hire, like I said, it takes none of my time. Now, someone trains them, my director of operations trains them, but it takes maybe 30 minutes of his time a day. It doesn't take all 8 hours in the day, right? Because we have the systems that I talked about, and we package those up into positions to where all of these are related processes together. There's a position, and when they come in for training, we have a training system, self-study. They take a quiz to make sure they master it. They restudy until they get 100%, go all the way through, question and answers. All of this is set up ahead of time so that whenever we hire someone, it actually saves us time. We don't hire them and it costs us time. And that's a huge distinction. So if you want to start to scale and you're like, I know I need to hire people, you got to get the systems in place and got to get training and onboarding ready to where it takes none of your time or very, very minimal time. Then there will be a lot less friction. You'll be a lot happier and you'll look forward to actually bringing people on into your team because you know, oh, this is actually going to help me. It's going to actually lighten the load. So that is super important. I'm confident that someone can go through this training and know the job pretty well, and I'll smooth out the rough edges, and it's not going to take a ton of my time. You will find that you find better people. You're a lot more excited about bringing people in. Therefore, you're a lot more excited about recruiting. It's just going to help building the team all around. And last, so if y'all don't know, my team has right around 15 employees full-time. We do everything: flipping, wholesaling, rentals. My rental portfolio is up to 534 units, all in one market. The questions I'll ask, they're kind of redundant questions, but it's like, do you think a company with 15 employees has some kind of training process, right? Not just my company, but any other company. Yeah, probably. You know, there's probably systems in place. There's probably not one person that's saying, okay, today you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do this thing, and I'll show you how to do it. There's just simply not time. So you've got to get organized sooner rather than later. And again, if you think that once I get to that size, then I'll start getting organized, it's going to be chaos because it's already chaos. I'm super organized. I have all of my processes down. It's still chaos, right? So get that stuff in place as soon as you possibly can. The last thought I'll share, I shared with my hot seat over there, is pertaining to growth, right? Because when I joined Investor Fuel, I thought, okay, I'm an expert at systems and processes, right? I learn stuff every quarter. I take, good notes every quarter, but I'm kind of an expert on that field, but I'm not getting the results everyone else is getting. And I always kind of envisioned growth just being linear. You just keep going up. Like a month passes, you've gone up a little bit. And if any kind of negative setback happened, it was devastating because it brought me down and I was gonna have to make up for all that time. And you can't manufacture time, it's lost. That used to really, really just get me down. And it's all a learning lesson, and everyone says, well, you're just being developed, your character is being developed, your perseverance is being developed. And we can all say, yeah, that's right. And I know I'm fairly young. I just turned 30 late last year. I want it to happen faster. I want it to have already happened, all these goals. And what I've seen in my life and what I've seen in a lot of really successful people is when they reach this place where you're like, man, I would love to get there, you realize it wasn't linear to get there. It was like they just kept getting beat up and they would go up and then this got beat down. They would go up and they would make mistakes and get beat down. And then all of a sudden, it's like they had that right lesson or the right formula of all of their lessons and experiences and the way that they approach business, and they just take off. And it's exponential. Like something that you think might take you 10 years, like at the rate I'm going now, it might take me 10 years to get there. First 7 years, I was able to gain $10 million worth of rental properties. And that was a lot, but it was also a long time. Then last year, 2023, I doubled my portfolio. So I gained another 10 million. So it took me 7 years, all of a sudden it took me 1 year. And then so far this year, I've already bought more than $10 million worth of rentals in 4 months. So it took me 7 years, but that's what exponential looks like. It's taking something that used to take a long, long time, and throughout that time, you're building systems and processes and getting better at it and constantly honing it in and refining it. And then you get good at it, and then you train other people how to be good at it, and then 7 years can be accomplished in 1 year, and then 1 year can be accomplished in a quarter. And the hope in that is that if you just keep going, things don't have to be linear. You can have an exponential jump. The kind of not good part is that we don't know exactly when it's going to come. So you just have to keep persevering.